Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for passing by. Thank you so much for subscribing. And thank you very much for watching my videos. You are greatly appreciated. So many persons by now have seen New Rules Festival. It was great. I passed through. I promise I passed through, but I was not able to attend because I have other business that I simply could not postpone. I could not postpone it, and so I passed through. It was wonderful. Cars everywhere, people everywhere, everybody dressed up, girls looking so great. Guys looking so nice, and it's always refreshing to see men and women, especially black people. We like to dress up and we like to look fancy for a special occasion. I was just so refreshing to see so many persons come out to support Alkaline and the artists who were on stage. Now, I'm going to try to break down what I saw, also what I heard, and also what other vloggers have said. I'm not going to reiterate or repeat anything that they have said, but I'm just going to try to incorporate snippets, okay? Now, I've seen the entire showmanship of Alkaline was amazing, and that's one thing that you want to have when you are an artist, especially when you become or transition into not just a recording artist, but a performing artist. Your showmanship is extremely important. And for those who do not know what your showmanship means, it means how you appear. The first 5 minutes when you come out, the appearance, you have to capture the audience. If you're not able to have good showmanship, the first 3 minutes, based on the fact that I was an artist and I was performing, I used to perform all across the island. I understand the importance of the first 3 to 5 minutes on stage, and I understand the importance of showmanship. And it's a little bit easier for female because persons are always going to want to see what you're wearing, how your hair is done, glitz and glamour that centers around female and stuff like that. Back in the day when it came to male artists, they used to wear costumes and designer things. We've seen it with Elephant Man in the 2000s, and we used to see it with the Beanie Man also, but not so much in these latter years. However, these are persons that were known to have showmanship. Ninja Man, the Shabarangs, they were great with their costume, their appearances, and their designer clothes. Pinchers also, these persons were known to have the great, appearance and stuff. And so less pressure has been on the male for around 2 to 3 decades coming down in dancehall, but more so on the female. And so persons are always excited to see the female and what they're wearing, how they appear on stage and stuff like that. Now with this show, it was great. It was great. I like our camera action. Speaking of light, those who read language, those who read colors, you can see he was in black and yellow. It was somewhat of a yellow inside, black outside type of ensemble that he was wearing, black and yellow, black and yellow. Trust me, it means something. The purple lights over him, it reminds me so much of the Denver mural. For those who don't know, do not understand esoteric meaning when it comes to colors, when it comes to language. It was all there. The black and white or the black and gold and the yellow, the purple lighting and stuff like that, that all incorporates in esoteric meaning, okay? So remember I told you that whenever it is that you see Alkaline, there's always a language of color that comes into play. There's esoteric meaning when it comes to the colors. He plays on them and he knows when to and where to. And so that's one aspect of it. Trust me, I'm not the only person that's looking out for it. Those who know, they also look out for it. Anyways, it was a great performance by Alkaline. The crowd well received him. There's a lot of noise. Everybody was singing on, was making it easier for him. And I like the fact that there wasn't any sound drop, as in a TV track or something like that, where the music is constantly playing and it sounds more like a karaoke that, more and more artists are doing. He just did his own thing with his own natural voice. And I think it was well received by the audience. Another thing that I noticed, Silk Boss came in. He's a Moby artist. There was Briscoe, another Moby artist. And I like how Silk Boss came out and he introduced himself on stage, his government name. And, he was just speaking on the fact that he has received in music. It's good to break and talk a little to the crowd, to engage them and let them understand who you are as a person. And it secure more bookings for you in the future also because they get to relate to the artist and understand who they are looking at performing on stage. There's also Briscoe from Montego Bay, who came out and he spoke on, the same difficulties that he's had over the years since his breakout. And, I always like Briscoe. I don't care so much about like the message behind his music. So I just listen to it for entertainment value. And that's about it. As well I do with most artists, dancehall artists, that is. But I like his cadence. I like his voice. There are so many controversies that have come out when it came to Briscoe past when it comes to the law and stuff. However, he's taking his time and he's coming back, and I was proud to see him on stage and speaking out. And I only have one thing to say to the crowd out there and the persons who were bad mouthing and were having so much negative things to say about Alkaline, and those who already do not like him from day one but pretend as if they do because they see that the crowd has received him, and many persons all over the world have also received him. In your face, in your face, none of you can say that the show flopped. None of you can say anything about that. And when you think artists are not linking, be careful of how you're trying to ping artists against each other. Be careful of trying to pin artists against each other, because now you see that a lot of these artists are actually connecting. There was also Intense that did his performance, and I was listening to Rick Storm vlogging, and I agreed with Rick Storm that, in prior performances, Intense was usually lackluster on stage while he's dropping big hit songs all the time. And so now we've seen him performing without I think the TV track, they call it, or the background music drop. And he did well. People like that. He engaged a crowd. He was talking to the crowd, and people like that. You understand me? So you're trying to get an arouse. You're trying to get the crowd aroused and try to get them to engage with you while on the stage. And it was really good. It was really good. I like the dip and try to get the crowd to engage, get people to feel enthused, more and more enthused to see your performance and all of that. And it's great. It's great for an artist, whichever genre, because it secure bookings and it make people know that they can relate to you. And this is what I like about them. And it was just a great show. There's also Armani who came out, and I heard Rick Storm said that Armani came out to a bit too confident on the stage. And for some reason, I can agree. I can agree with Rick Storm. Sometimes there is something called too much confidence. So you come out a bit hyped, overhyped, and a bit arrogant. And so you have to realize that you can lose your audience that way. But it's good that he kept his amped. And so he was able to engage with the audience just the same, and keep the crowd jiving and stuff. And it does happen. It does happen sometimes when you are an artist, because to go on stage and perform in front of any crowd is never easy. And all avenues are not the same. Everybody will not well receive you. Even if they know your music, that doesn't mean that they are ready to receive you, or they're in the spirit of receiving you, or sometimes it's based on the energy that you come with. If the energy is too high sometimes, then you have a lot more work to do in engaging with the crowd rather than performing, because you already came with a high energy. And if your energy is a bit too low, then you're going to have to build up your energy rather than try to engage, because they would already see who they have in front of them. So it's your duty to work on building high energy, and it works vice versa. You understand? And so I am happy. I'm proud. I'm satisfied with what I've seen. As I said, understanding the language of color, was Alkaline moment, and he came out in those colors. And, the meaning behind them is very strong. And he did his job. He did a great performance. I like it. And it speaks to growth. It speaks to a person who is pushing their career, trying to evolve as an artist. And I think this is a great pavement for him. I think that Alkaline, like I said in my previous video, or the last video I did on Alkaline, I said that it looks to me like he's working to become a dancehall mogul, and it'll be a great thing if he transition into a whole lot of things, entrepreneurship, and it'll be known. And so he can move on to being a dancehall mogul, where everything that he touches is like King Midas. Everything that he touches turns gold, and it turns into a success. And that would be a beautiful thing. It's not just about overhype marketing and stuff of products. It can be just you being yourself, and you have people you are working with that are willing to invest with you in whatever product that you're putting forward, or willing to be a part of your brand and push yourself and push your image and your reputation, your swag, push it forward. And I think it will be a great thing for him. As I said, the show was a success. It was great, and I like the performance from the artist. And for those who thought that it was going to be a fiasco, sad to say, it did not work out the way you expect it. And actually, I'm not sad. I'm happy to say that it did not work out the way you expected it. It was a great performance. Many persons who are speaking ill are persons who were never there. You can't stay on the outside hating when you cannot get in. You don't have the resources to get in. You just have to sit this one out and stay hating in a deep dark tunnel where nobody's interested in hearing your opinion because you were not there. You did not see anything. You can't judge anything. And you just being basic as usual. And unfortunately for you, the show was a success, and Alkaline should be very proud of himself, being the man himself. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your day, and may God bless you. Bye bye.